Hi, today we are going to present about our research on the spreading of unverified message on social media. Meet our group member.
Hi, we are from Team 5, and today, for our subject research method, we're going to do about the topic about the spreading of unverified message on social media. We have 5 team members. One of them is me, that is Firdaus Abid bin Rahimi, and second is Puteri Balqis, third Anwar Rahimi, followed with Norhani and Rohainul Laila. And for this subject, our dependent variable is actual behavior, and independent variable we choose two, that is perceived pleasure and perceived utility. Okay, I'm going to do about the background study. The spread of fake news on the internet affects every member of a society, including official legislator, organization, corporation, and citizen. Fake news intentionally sows a suspicion and exacerbate existing social and cultural dynamic. Like they are making fake news to make people believe things that was not true and to make panic among the people. For example, thousands of pledge boycott McDonald's following the viral dissemination of false information about the fast food chain burger containing pulverized worm filler. The prevalence of fake news is not new, but the role its play has been affected by rising use of a social media, which is provide a quick means of sharing fresh idea. Additionally, social media use may engage in sharing, like, and retweeting and help disseminate idea and information. Social media is often used to propagate fake news and misinformation, which end of social media has emerged as a channel. This is a deceiving or misleading behavior is commonly used by the government, official, and members of a public to further their aims. The research aim is doing the study is to learn more about the passing of false news among student Unity and Puncak Alam.
So for the problem statement, firstly, they argue that the false information has a negative impact on society and civilization because it intentionally persuades people to accept false views that are harmful to society. Secondly, incorrect information can harm retailer interests by influencing consumer purchasing decision. Customer may be duped into buying things based on the fraudulent review, which is a form of internet fraud. Thirdly, there's really proof that incorrect news disseminated rapidly and swiftly via the media platform as a result of such the human behavior. So fourthly, heuristic or visual imagery will heavily impact on the people's decision to share one and others. So lastly, less educated people shared more bogus news than younger users. Age predicted their behavior better than any other characteristic, including party affiliation. Based on research, we have to determine which age group is likely to distribute news to social media based on their perceived pleasure, including the population in UiT and Puncak Alam based on their perceived utility. So for next is the research objective. So these are the objective of identifying which age group and genders are most likely to distribute news using social media in university. Moreover, to achieve this aim is to explore and identify the group people in the university using research approach. So next is the four research question. This question also applies to the objective of exploring and identifying age group and gender in university. This question acts as task to achieve the research goal. Also, the question assists clarify the research major goals.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. For analysis and finding in Chapter 4, we will look at outlier assessment and the goodness of fit. The first phase of analysis will look at data normality, reliability and profiling. The second part will answer our research question 1 and 2. Through an online site, the questionnaire was made available to the entire public, which is UiTM student. 345 questionnaires were gathered, with 345 of them being usable. As a result, the researcher obtained the minimum response rate needed for this study. In this instance, 7 surveys were incomplete. According to the survey finding, they were rejected because respondents did not complete the questionnaire completely. As a result of above 338 instances were examined for this research study, we may further remove outlier by using a Mahalanobis distance of less than 0.001. 335 data points have been rejected as a result of the rejection process. Based on p-value of chi-square less than 0.001, there is sufficient evidence to conclude that there were identified outliers, and as a result, they must be removed. The remaining data 327 dataset after the 11 outlier have been removed. The table shows the result of internal consistency analysis AB, PU and PPE. With the help of Crombat Alpha, we can determine the relations between the score on each scale item and the total score for each observation that is subjected to the variability. Crombat Alpha is less than 0.5, which indicates that there is insufficient reliability. Generally speaking, that reliability level between 0.55 and 0.60 are considered inadequate, while value between 0.60 and 0.7 are considered adequate. Value between 0.7 and 0.9 are considered excellent reliability, while the value more than 0.9 are considered outstanding reliability. The overall dependent ability of the variable was shown by the fact that all variables had Crombat Alpha value more than 0.6. This particular variable perceived pleasure utility, which is PU, has a Crombat Alpha score of 0.875%, which indicate that all the items in this specific variable will be kept for use in the next stage of the study. According to the data in the table, the dependent variable actual behavior had a mean of 3.166 and a median of 3.1429 according to the dependent variable perceived utility. The mean is 4.0617 and the median is 4. The survey means for perceived pleasure and entertainment was 3.8257 while the median was 4. In general, no evidence of non-normal data such as skewness was found for the variable AB, negative 0.083, PU negative 0.522 and PPE negative 0.457. Kurtosis analysis revealed a similar trend with AB of 0.175, PU 0.36 and PPE of negative 0.079, indicating no significant kurtosis for variable utilized in this study. Thus, the data collected may be utilized for the further investigations.
As seen on figure 4.1, where the orange color represents female, showing the majority gender of respondent than male. It is red as 76% for female and the blue is 24. Figure 4.2 shows the age of respondents and the orange color illuminates the chart which represented as respondents age from the age of 19 to 35. Figure 4.3 shows the education level of these respondents and the majority comes from these students are from bachelor degree which shows 81%. The minority is master degree student which only 2% of respondents. Figure 4.4 shows the faculty attended by these respondents and the majority are from business administration faculty which scores 64% and the least are from education faculty. Figure 4.5 shows the year batch of these respondents and the majority is from last year students which is 51% and the least participate is from first year students, only 8% of these respondents. Figure 4.6 explaining the data that gathered based on the actual behavior of these real-time students. Both research questions were referred as assistance to complete the assignment, and skill 1 to 5 is given to determine the outcomes and can be seen as majority answered sometimes frequently to causes it the highest point, which is 37%. From figure 4.7, it shows that mostly respondents answered agree to so frequently based on perceived utility that causes it the highest point mark at 42%. Figure 4.8 shows the result of respondents answered based on perceived pleasure questions, and most frequent answer is neutral and agree, which is 35%. Figure 4.9 shows the result of individuals based on the actual behavior question in the questionnaire, which the highest point is from question 5, which is about the rating of frequency of forwarding message through TikTok, and the most respondents answered never for this, and the result is 39%.
Hi, moving on to the analysis on mean difference between actual behavior. The mean absolute difference is a measure of statistical dispersions equal to the average absolute difference of two independent values drawn from a probability distributions. Research question 1 is there any significant difference between age group in spreading viral contents via social media that based on perceived of pleasures among real-time students? And this is our analysis on mean different age on perceived utility tables. For the total mean or overall actual behavior is 3.1166, and for the overall perceived utility is 4.0617, and for the total sample n, which is same with the actual behavior and perceived utility, which is 302.27, and for the total standard deviations for the overall actual behavior is 0.71185, and for the overall PU perceived utility is 0.65508. Next is research question 2, which is there any significant difference between group of gender in spreading viral contents via social media that based on perceived of utility among real-time students? This is the summary on mean different age on perceived utility tables, and the overall actual behavior age between group for the sum of squares is 0.222, and for the DF is 3, for the mean square is 0.074, and for the F values is 0.145, and for the significance is 0.933, and for the overall perceived utility between groups sum of squares 1.589, and for the DF is 3, and for the mean square is 0.53, and for the F values is 1.237, and for the significance is 0.269. And this is the analysis on mean different gender on perceived pleasures and entertainment. The analysis on mean difference between gender were taken for the research. The mean score for male on overall actual behavior is 3.0705, which is less than the female, which is score 3.1964. On the other part, the mean score for the male on overall perceived pleasures is 3.8544, which is higher than female, whereas the score is 3.8165. The significant value for what gender is overall actual behavior is 0.171, which is more than 0.05. Identified is not significant. Also, the significant value for overall perceived pleasures is 0.744, which is also higher than 0.05, also recorded as not significant. That's all from.
So according to the result of the survey, 348 students from UiTM Puncak Alam distributed news via social media towards actual behavior. So based on the scale of the 1 until 5, the level for the actual behavior, perceived utility and the perceived pleasure to forward the viral content, the majority is high. So among UiTM Puncak Alam students, there was a significant age gap in disseminating viral content via social media. It was shown that the teenagers that aged 19 until 35 have more viral news disseminated on social media than any other age of group. So there was also a significant gender differences in disseminating viral information via social media. So females are more likely to share the viral content more than males. So based behavioral factor of the perceived utility among UiTM Puncak Alam student, the finding revealed that the majority of respondents agree that age and gender are most likely to spreading the news. So also the amount of the respondent disagree on the matter is also different, where people more disagree on the matter of pleasure. It is resulted that more people tend to pass the news for fun.
Hi, now I'm going to continue about the recommendation. Recommend that student refuse to share it. The fewer time an article is shared, the fewer people will see it, and less profit will accrue to the newsmaker. Never share tale or news that you believe to be false or deceptive. You must stop aiding and abetting its spread. Read them. Pause. There is no reason to disseminate news or message on which you are unsure. The next step is to put an to the propagation of fake news and information among students via social media. Identify if you can respond to or remark on a fabricated report. Do so gently with proof demonstrating what is wrong. If a friend or family member relate the story, explain politely why you have a difficulty believing it. Include concrete example and tactic that aid in your conclusion. The third, student must present alternate, conduct a search for story or information debunking the story from a range of credible source. Distribute the tales to those who believe in fake news. Again, maintain a pleasant demeanor. Demonstrate to them that what they believe is false and untrue. Open your mind to the possibility that information they read is disseminated is untrue. And finally, diversify your media consumption pattern. Obtain all your news from a single source. When you seek numbers perspective from a variety of source, you gain more comprehensive knowledge of the news. Look for source and article that you may not instantly agree with. By widening your media horizons, you'll be more acute to identify and to respond to the false news.
Recommendation for future research. There are several recommendations for the next researcher for the future research. First, recommendation for the future research is to lessen the questionnaire question and shorten up the question in the questionnaire. Since people are lazy to answer lots of a section in the questionnaire and probably will just click random answer without reading it. So the data will be not real based on their self. I also suggest the researcher to decorate their questionnaire, maybe adding some picture in it so it might not look boring to answer it. By the result, people will much happy and interested in answering the questionnaire. Thank you.